Niue can expect a new Governor-General following an announcement this week. According to Radio New Zealand International, Lieutenant General Jerry Mataparai will be appointed the next Governor-General, replacing Sir Anand Sadianan, whose term ends in August. The former head of New Zealand Defence Force was offered the position by Prime Minister John Keyes about 6 weeks ago. Lieutenant General Mataparai's appointment will be made official as he is sworn in on the 17th of August for a 5-year term. He will be the 20th Governor-General of New Zealand. Progress with upgrades to telecommunications on the island is steadily moving forward, with the core telephone network installation and testing a few weeks back. Now work has started on the new mobile system. With the arrival of a specialist rigger on Friday, work started over the weekend on the mobile base station at Kaimisi that is now powered up and undergoing tests for coverage. Telecom technicians are this week working to install new equipment at the mast in Sekena Makefu. We caught up with them today for an update on progress.
We have been tasked with installing the core network that's based up at Kaimisi, and we've been doing a few testing as well, integrating the current system to the new network. And from Saturday onwards, we have been working outdoors, installing one PTS up at Kaimisi. And for yesterday, we've been installing the PTS on the BCN tower here in Sekena.
Now, what benefits are there with these upgrades?
The main benefit is just reliability of services, especially to the outer village customers. With the mobile system, it offers a second option to our BSDN system. So, and if there's no service for the BSDN, then perhaps a GSM mobile system can take over, and vice versa. So those are some of the progress, or some of the things that we'll be looking at improving on.
And what is the coverage of the new mobile system?
As yet, we haven't done any testing to see which areas will be covered by the system, and which will, because obviously there will be blackouts or there will be black spots in some areas, but the way how we see it is that the closer you are to the site, or the closer you are to the cellular tower, the better coverage you get. But that once we found out after our drive testing, then we'll know for sure which is the best coverage and which is the blind spots.
This also provides an opportunity for practical training for staff.
Most of the training that we are getting or receiving is just hands-on training, but there will be time will be allocated where we'll have proper training or formal training, especially on the core part of the network, with the engineers from Challenge. And once everything installed and everything running smoothly, then we'll have the training.
According to Director of Telecom, Tutuli Heka, this training will be beneficial to build the capacity of telecom technicians for the establishment of a mobile base station in Avaseli. Work on the mast in Sekena will be done throughout this week and will affect television transmission from 9 a.m. in the morning until 5 in the afternoon. Niue need to forego its development for the next 2 to 4 years to assist its donor, said Common Role MP Honourable Terry Coe. MP Coe made the comments to Radio New Zealand International this morning after seeing New Zealand's Prime Minister John Key's statement on his country's struggle and economic strain after the Christchurch earthquake.
Christchurch and the people of Canterbury have been probably one of the major suppliers of tourism people to Niue, that we should attempt to help them. And as I say, they are really suffering. Plus the government, the New Zealand government, is like on TV last night, they're finding that their finances are very tight.
Honourable Coe said the developmental money New Zealand assists Niue with should be redirected to the relief efforts for Christchurch.
So I thought that if we just put on hold our aid development for the next 2 to 4 years, then maybe that will help the New Zealand government and help the people of Christchurch, especially with their housing. You know, there's so many houses have to be replaced, and those families down there are really suffering.
Now, when you talk about our aid for the next 2 to 4 years, how much are we looking at?
Well, it depends on what has been spent at the moment out of the 20 million that we get. And all I'm saying is that if there's 15 million left or 10 million left, that we should, let the government use that money for the people of Christchurch. And then when they come, more financially available with other monies, then they could do those projects.
I guess the past year we've done some fundraising, but you don't believe that's enough?
Well, I think we can seriously say that we're quite well off here, and those development aid projects don't have anything to do with the recurrent budget. The recurrent budget would stay at the same of about $7 million. But remember, we've also got our 2.2 or 2.25 interest from the trust fund coming in next year as well, and or this year. So that's a big help for us to use that money to do development here ourselves.
We were not able to get a response from government regarding MP Ko's press statement this morning. We'll bring you more on this story in our future news bulletin. A review of new water legislation might see changes to the current system as the island relook at its strategic plan and ways to improve its water resources. According to the representative from IWRM, Sion Heke Leolahi, the changes to the legislation is important and people need to be aware of what the legislation contains in order to understand its benefits. He said one of the main changes is to relook at water charges, as this operation will not only monitor usage of its main resource, but measure how much water is available on Niue. Today, the consultations concentrated on government input and other stakeholders on the island. And to end our news bulletin for tonight, today Niue joins in on International Women's Day as the annual day of celebration of women worldwide. On the 8th of March each year, commemorations are held internationally to highlight the economical, political and social achievement of women. The event was first observed in 1911, and now 1 century on, groups celebrate the developments made over the years with themes that reflect global and local gender issues. This year's theme, Equal Access to Education, Training in Science and Technology, Pathway to Decent Work for Women. In a special program today, women's groups came together to celebrate the status of women in Niue, which in comparison to many countries is quite high. This is reflected in the number of key positions held by women in economic, political and social positions. This program, organized by the Niue Council of Women, was attended by Acting Premier Honourable Tongia Sioneholo, Mrs. Fifita Talangi, Acting Minister for Women Mahetoi Heko, Director of Community Affairs Whapuia Kesi and village representatives. In her opening address, Niue Council of Women President Lapasi Paka acknowledged the support of village women and governments in the council's aspirations to enhance the lives of women on the island. Officials emphasized the vital role women play in the community, as well as remembering those who paved the way as advocates for women's rights that have now been realized, opening up equal opportunities that are enjoyed by many women in Niue today. With the formalities out of the way, women were able to share their stories in an informal manner, with short stories and poems lamenting on the significance of the Day of the Woman. That's our news bulletin for tonight. Good evening.